welcome to another adventure. So today I'm going to do something that I've been wanting to do for quite a while, and yeah, it's something that I absolutely love doing, and in fact I love it so much it's my job. My regular job is I'm a photographer, so you know I spend my days behind a camera, mainly doing commercial work. But it's very rare I get out and I just do something for myself. So I thought what I'd do today is, while I've got a chance and I've got a quiet week work-wise, and I just thought I'd come out and get some sort of, I don't know, something a bit different and something a bit more contrived and planned, photography-wise, with me and the bike. Okay, so we're going down here. Hopefully it's not going to be too muddy, especially as I clean the bike, especially for this. You know, you want some, like, posing shots of your bike. You want a clean bike, don't you? Or is that just me? Okay. Up here. Ideally, I would have liked to have done this while there was still quite a few leaves on the trees, and you know, it looking all autumnal and golden. I think it would have added to the picture. But definitely, I think today is going to be, you know, a great day weather-wise for it, because you know, a dull, overcast day makes it a little bit easier to have more control. So if you're not a photographer and you've not done this sort of thing before, but you fancy giving it a go, then I suggest you do it on a dull day. Especially if you've only got quite a low-powered flash, because your low-powered flash will be fighting against the sun, and I'm sure your flash is, you know, is okay, but as you can imagine, the sun is pretty powerful. So trying to beat the sun is, well, you're pissing into the wind, basically, aren't you? So, right, I like that there. That's quite autumnal. Yeah, a bit of a tunnel. Right. Ha. Tyre's looking a bit leafy there, but okay, so lights off for now. Don't want to flatten the battery. Yeah, okay. Okay, well, that was a faff. If you're going to do this, and you can do it with someone else to help you, it will always be easier. But I'm on my own here today, which made it a hell of a faff. So, got the main camera here. It's obviously down low at the minute, because one of the last shots I did was a low angle shot. But to start off with, I had it at about 5 foot, which is not, you know, too bad a height. I kind of wanted to see down the trail a little bit, and but you don't want to get too high. Well, I just don't like that really high angle shot anyway. So, and then obviously here I've got a stand with a flash on the top there, so it's just a flash with a simple reflector, basic reflector on the top there, hood reflector, and that flash communicates with the little device that's on the top of my camera here. So if you've got one of these little devices, this little transmitter, because I can control the flash from that transmitter, I haven't got to keep adjusting the flash itself. So then around the back of the bike I had another flash, so then I had a secondary flash here, which is this flash here, and you can see that's got a bit of a red filter in it. Now the problem with these Nikon flashes is they are triggered by infrared, so I needed to have line of sight from the camera to the flash, which means I might potentially then get the flash in the shot. So to get around that, I've taken plenty of shots without the flash in, so I can edit out the flash. Yeah, and then obviously I've set the bike at a bit of an angle, so you see the front of the bike. And I tended, for all of the shots that I did, I tended to stand here at the back of the bike. And it is tricky when you're on your own because it's difficult to focus. So as a photographer, if I'm photographing a person, the thing that I want to photograph, or the thing that I want to get pin sharp is the eyes and the face in general for this type of shot, but the eyes are key. So I've had to sort of blag it a little bit. I focused here on the GoPro symbol because that is roughly a similar distance from the camera to where I was standing to the left there. Yeah, so that focusing wasn't easy, and generally doing this on your own is a bit of a faff. So I did some shots with both flashes, some shots just one flash on its own. Did most of the shots at 5 foot, but then finished off with some shots low down, so the shot takes in the leaves, just a slightly different angle. If you do this, what I suggest you do is before you come out is have a look online and just Google motorbike portraits, and you will find some shots to give you some idea of what to do and give you some inspiration. Yeah, which is exactly what I do, because this isn't what I do for my day-to-day job. So yeah, so have a quick Google, have a bit of a search around, find some shots you like, and then come out and try and emulate those shots. It's not too difficult, and you know, remember the principle KISS, keep it simple, stupid. So if you try and overcomplicate things with lots of flash and lots of techniques and angles, and before you know it, it all goes horribly wrong. So best thing to do is just keep it simple. You can do this with just one flash, you don't need two. You know, I was just trying to be a bit more creative there with the red filter on the flash at the back there. But other than that, you know, it's just keep it simple. And I'm sure if you just put a bit of research into the what type of shots you're going to take, you'll end up with some nice photos. Well, that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. That was a nice afternoon out on the bike, and a chance for me to have a play with my camera and do something I just don't get the time to do normally. And yeah, I enjoyed it. So I thought I'd just quickly explain how I edited the photos and just give you some tips on settings and yeah, how I achieved the shot, and a couple of tips as well. So the first thing I wanted to do was get some sort of base settings. So I knew I wanted the general shot, the ambient light, to be slightly underexposed, and then that way when I add the flash, it just makes the bike and me pop off the page a little bit. It just makes you stand out from the surroundings because you are slightly brighter. So base settings, I've got the exposure at a 60th, f5, and a focal length of 52mm, and an ISO of 320. I wouldn't want to have gone any wider than 50mm because of the distortion it creates on a person's face. So normally I would want to shoot more towards 100mm if I'm doing a portrait, but for this particular shot I've got away with around 50mm. And then essentially what I've done, I've then added in my flash to try and get some sort of light levels that I'm happy with. So Next shot, you can see I'm layering the flash here. I've added a bit of flash, so this is both going off. You can see the red filters there, and obviously the main flash. When you are doing your research, look at the pose and how you want to stand, because some people, in my experience, you know, which is why I don't particularly like photographing people, because so a lot of people don't like having their photograph taken, and I'm one of them. I blink a lot, and I'm just not comfortable in front of the camera. And like this shot here, standing here with my hand on my hip, I don't like it. So have a look at the pose and give yourself some idea about how you're going to stand and what you're going to do with your hands, because hands can really stand out in a photo. So which is why props are good. You know, give you something to hold in a photo, or as I wanted to do, I wanted to put on sunglasses, hold my helmet. Yeah, so just note in this picture as well that the reflection in the sunglasses, so that reflection here, up here, that is the flash reflecting in the glasses. And there's two ways to get rid of that. One is I could move my head, so turn my head more of an angle. So turning my head to the left, right, as we look at it, would eliminate that. Or also moving the angle of the flash. It needs to be at more of an oblique angle, so over 45 degrees. You can move it up or down, or left to right, depending on the angle. But obviously, because I'm wearing a baseball cap, the higher I go with the flash, the more of a shadow it would have created under the peak. So just something to bear in mind. But this is why you have to keep, you know, going and checking your screen and really making sure that you're scrutinizing the image and you know, looking down and on the details. So then I'm just sort of, how am I going to stand? You know, what am I going to do? So again here, so look at the shadow on the nose here. See, there's only a little bit of a shadow there, but I've got the reflection in the glasses. And then in the next shot, no reflection in the glasses, but a longer shadow on the nose. That's because I moved the flash round more of an angle to eliminate that. And essentially this is what I had to do. I just had to have a play. I tried some different poses to find one I liked, with the helmet, without the helmet. Yeah, and so this is the final shot. This is the one that I eventually ended up with, and my favourite shot of the three I put in the video there. And as you can see, we are getting that tunnel effect here, going down the trail in the background. I haven't got too much of a shadow from the peak. I haven't got a reflection in the glasses. I'm not smiling because I kind of don't like myself when I smile. I've kind of gone for that Iceman look, and I'm holding the helmet. My hand is kind of in a fist, as opposed to a bunch of fingers hanging down like a bunch of bananas, which is what my instructor always used to say when I was training to be a photographer. Is you've got a hand that looks like a bunch of bananas. Oh my God, what have I done? Yeah, so just some tips there, and just something to bear in mind about what you do and how you pose it up. So let's have a look at how I edited this shot. So if I go, let's just go to this shot before. So this is an unedited shot, and you can see there's quite a difference between that and that. So this is the shot straight out of the camera. You can see down here, look, you can see the flash there. So that's something else that I have to try and get rid of, is the flash. And it's quite easy to get rid of it in Photoshop. So so I just use my basic preset to start off with, which just adds a bit of sharpness, a bit of contrast, and a few other adjustments that I would normally do. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to crop the photo. Oh, no, you're not in Photoshop, Michael. I'm going to crop the photo, so get it roughly to how I want the crop to be. First of all, I tend not to do global, i.e. an adjustment that does it to everything, but just to keep it simple for this, I'm going to do a global edit. So I'm going to add some contrast to this, and I am going to add a bit of vibrance. So that will bring out the red in the bike and in the background. So let's increase the exposure a bit more. And I'm also, in Lightroom, you've got this
slider here called dehaze, and if I add a bit of that, it's kind of like adding contrast, but it also adds a bit of sharpness and adds a bit of punch. So I've added a bit of dehaze, and I'm just going to bring the highlights down a little bit, and the shadows, do I want them down a little bit? No, shadows I'm going to leave there. So the next thing I'm going to do is have a brush over here that I is one of my brushes that I use. It's called Shadows, but basically it's just an exposure adjustment. So I'm just going to brighten up this area around the bike here, just because I want this just to be a bit lighter. You know, we want to see the bike, we want to see the engine. Yeah, the legs on me, the bike, the alt-rider bag, the front of the bike there. Let's lighten that up a bit, the wheel, just to make those bits pop a bit. And then what I'm going to do, I want another brush, and I'm going to exposure this time, and this time I want to darken some areas. So I want to create like a tunnel effect, or a vignette. So I'm going to darken around the edges of the picture to create this sort of vignette. So that's one layer, and then I'm going to do it again. So new, and same again, and this time I'm just going to create some sort of natural vignettes and lines to to just sort of make me pop out a little bit more. Because if I was if everything was of a similar exposure value, then myself on the bike just wouldn't jump off the page there like it is at the minute. Yeah, look at my instructor, wouldn't be happy with me. Look at that hand. I mean, if ever there was a bunch of bananas, that's it there. So that's what they mean when they say a bunch of bananas, which is why I like to have more of a fist. But anyway, essentially I just added more and more of a vignette to various parts of the picture, and I'd add and take away until I kind of got a final picture that I was happy with. And as I've done this, look, as I've increased these darker areas and have added the vignette, you can see that it's increased this illusion of the tunnel in the background there. So if I go to the first shot before I did anything, which was there, yep, so that's the first shot, and then there's the shot with the crop, and then here's where we are now with the vignette and just a few little different adjustments. So I'm just going to increase the overall exposure just a little bit. Yeah, okay, so you get the picture there as to what I've done. And if I zoom in here, you can see it's all quite nice and sharp on there. The only thing is the flash. So to get rid of the flash, I would now go into Photoshop to get rid of this. Yeah, so there we have it. So I hope that's been useful. You can see you don't have to do too much to make, you know, quite a nice image. And if you remember that principle of KISS, keep it simple, stupid, and not overly complicate matters, you can end up with some really nice shots. So here's the shot that I liked, with me holding my helmet there and my hand not looking like a bunch of bananas. So there's the shot with the helmet on and just looking at my phone. And then there's the low level shot. Slightly brighter ambient light level there, but yeah, different take on a similar shot. Yeah, so I hope you found that all useful and interesting. So yeah, if you did like it, then obviously give us a thumbs up on the video, and or possibly even subscribe to the channel. And if you've got any questions, then stick a question in the comments below, be it about photography or anything else, the bike, whatever, the gear, and I'll try and get back to you and try and help you. I hope you've enjoyed it, and see you out on the trail soon, and I'll catch up with you again for another adventure. Bye for now.